Hey folks, fWhip here, and welcome to a brand new Q&A episode where I have just finished up building a ton of new structures here in New Papyrus. I'm so happy with how these have turned out. This has been such a challenge of a build to throw together, and I'm really excited about it. I'm honestly thinking about just doing a stream soon, at least starting it, and we're just gonna sit here and just kind of talk about all the builds because, I'm so happy with how these turned out. But for today, I've got a bunch of comments to reply to. Starting off with the Sphero. Fun fact about powdered snow, it's our fault. The biome update that added it had a community poll to decide which biome was getting overhauled first, and Mountain won the vote. So we have no one to blame but ourselves for snowier snow. So I would also say in that same regard, we have nobody to blame but ourselves for an entire mountain update and terrain overhaul. And I will happily accept snowier snow being in the world if it meant the entire caves and cliffs update that we have now became a reality. Could you imagine if a different biome won and we just didn't get the massive landscape overhaul that we have in today's Minecraft? And being in a desert right now isn't the best example of that, but y'all know what I'm talking about in modern day Minecraft terrain and landscapes and everything. I mean, like, look at these new mesas. They even got a change over what they had before. And I just gotta say, without the terrain update, the big caves and cliffs, I know it took 3 updates to get it fully finished with the deep dark and all that, but I don't think Minecraft would necessarily be as popular because it's so much easier to get a really cool looking Minecraft world than it was in the past. And there's just so much more to explore. So many more amazing base locations you can find with seeds that you're out hunting for in the world. And I think Caves and Cliffs update, minus the Village and Pillage update, the whole Caves and Cliffs in its own, I'm just kind of treating the 3 updates as one, even though I know it took 3 years pretty much, or 2 years to get all of them out there. But for me, that is my favorite update that Minecraft has ever done. And the fact that it's from a community vote, I think is really cool. So the reason why I picked this comment out here is I just think it's better to focus on the positives of what we are having and what we are enjoying in the game. And snowier snow being on the mountains, honestly, I love the look of it from far away. I think it's a really cool difference in the white textures than you have with it's just snow. And then you also have the seamless snow on the side and everything like that, and the little glacial elements and everything. And you know, it's great that I'm talking about this while walking through a desert. But yeah, I'm okay with snowier snow being in the game. I actually don't hate it at all. And the fact that you can wear leather boots to be able to stop it, I think that's actually a good trade-off. I just can't be bothered because hardcore, I don't want to be taking off my +3 armor, +3 armor toughness Crocs in sport mode. So I've got to be careful with that. And I prioritize being able to survive a potential creeper explosion over falling down into powdered snow while I'm working up there. Next question coming in from Eldrick Gaming 4228. You mentioned having other blocks using the snow layer mechanic, which is exactly what a mod pack Conquest Forge does. It's a blast to build with, and you can spend hours on small builds with just detailing. Fun fact, if you didn't know this about me, I actually helped develop that mod. Yeah, way back in the day when it first came out, I was part of the team that transitioned it from being just a resource pack to being its own standalone mod. And if you look back to the oldest videos on my channel, actually most of them are probably private now, they're pretty cringe, and yeah, I wanted to hide them. But yeah, the first 2 years nearly on YouTube here, I exclusively did videos with Conquest in the Conquest Forge mod pack. So yeah, I just thought it was kind of a funny comment in there, and I really think it's I find it entertaining when so many people are like, hey fWhip, have you heard about this mod Conquest Forge, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I helped make that thing. I haven't been on the team in quite a few years, but yeah, I did help make that. There are a bunch of lovely people. If you're looking for creators in the Conquest Forge space to go watch, definitely go check out Viggoman, Viggoman. He's a very cool Minecraft YouTuber, and actually is working on a desert build right now with some gorgeous buildings. And he's just got a really cool world that he's building the entire thing and all the different civilizations on a custom map that he made, all in creative Minecraft. But definitely go check him out. And yeah, I love the extra layers things that they have in that mod. The big reason why I don't use it anymore is, well, one, it's a forced texture pack that looks way different from vanilla Minecraft, so it alienates a lot of my potential audience because that mod pack only works if you have the mod installed first and foremost. So then you're alienating everybody who doesn't play modded Minecraft from being able to really enjoy your videos and enjoy your builds and everything like that. And then 2, you're also alienating the entire Bedrock community, which is a much, much larger community than Java, because they simply can't play with it. And then also on top of that, you're alienating away from anybody who just wants to play with vanilla Minecraft. And honestly, I love the textures of vanilla Minecraft. I think it's really cool. I think Conquest Reforged is a cool, really dark tone to it, but it's also something that I honestly don't like the look of it unless I'm playing with shaders. So that's another big aspect of it that I think just kind of differs from the side. So if you're looking for something a very medieval kind of dark fantasy vibe or rustic medieval kind of vibes, that could be a good thing for you. But for me, I really love all the vanilla stuff. It's cool what they add, but there's almost choice paralysis with too many options of things to build with that I'll be honest, I haven't checked it out in probably 4 or 5 years at this point. I've seen builds done with it, but I haven't built with it myself, and it just seems like a lot to manage. But again, cool project. Was fun to be part of it way back in the day. And if you're interested in it, go definitely check out Vegaman. And we are still sorting sugarcane from when that video ended. It's been going for so long. I guess I created that problem for myself, and I wanted that problem, so that's okay. Now, it's the next question coming in from Daddy David 294. This hardcore world become new building with fWhip? Always has been, my friend. Always has been. Literally, the seed of this world, when I started it, I typed building space with space fWhip. That's the seed. That's the seed of this world. And I think back in episode 1, I even talked about that I wanted this to be the spiritual successor of building with fWhip, and going with the same ideas we had of that, just doing it in hardcore and really doing it in what the new form of my Minecraft building style is. And I'm very, very happy that I've been doing that, because that's how I love to play Minecraft, just to create fantasy worlds of different things all over the place, and seeing all this coming together and slowly growing. It makes me very, very happy. I didn't know what I wanted to do here with New Papyrus, because I honestly, back in building with fWhip, I don't like the look of New Papyrus. Or Old Papyrus. Which is right over here. The reason being is, 1, it is all sandstone, because that's all we really had available to us back in the day, and I wasn't too confident in my texturing abilities to bring in that oak and birch and everything, so I went very simple with the sandstone everything. And I thought this was a massive build. And this thing took me like a month to create, mostly because it's all red sandstone, so that was really difficult to get. And then all this whole garden there, that was like a week to build that thing. Granted, I wasn't full-time, so I was probably only spending like 5-6 hours a week playing and working on videos and all that stuff. But the reason why I didn't like New Papyrus is, like, this is the size of a home, and apparently I need that many torches. So the scale of the buildings in here, always to me, after I got started, I felt like I was good over here for like starter build styles and everything, and then I just kind of kept with that, and thinking that these buildings, like those two, were just too massive and so overly done. Like, this was our big old storage room down in here with all of this stuff. Man, I haven't been here in a long time, and this was like my massive storage room that had everything in it ready to go down to a 3rd floor underneath if we needed that. But I remember thinking these builds were absolutely massive at the time, and I'm pretty sure that this right here is probably maybe 2 of the buildings that we just added into New Papyrus, if you were to put them like right next to each other. One thing that we have kept is a newer version of the windmill design, which I love. And so, yeah, I think this is just too small of a build style. So I'm very happy with the clean slate that I have of the hardcore season 3 compared to where building with fWhip started. As I really love looking at those old builds and being like, wow, this is how far I've come since then. But then at the same time, I really love having all of these in kind of my newer, more modern build style. I mean, even looking at the start of this world being 3 years old nearly, you can see how my builds have developed, going from the starter house into kind of what is around in the city of Path and all those different things. Next question in from Eden Campanella 54. I think you've been talking about a giant crystal cave from Blackreach, like Blackreach from Skyrim, for years, and yet I still get so hyped when you do. When you eventually tackle it as a project, I'm going to be so excited. Oh, I have been talking about this project since back in building with fWhip, of wanting to turn my nether hub into something like that. But yeah, we are back over here, as the cave that I've talked about doing it in again is right down there. We've seen it a few times. You can kind of, that doesn't actually break all the way down into it, but it's kind of fun to see that it's all like overlapping and everything. But one of the things that kind of has me almost like scared about tackling it is I almost like that it's this looming project that I've been wanting to tackle and always been in my back pocket of something to do. But then also at the same time being like, ooh, I'm trying to work up to it. I don't know if I'm quite ready for it. And maybe one day we'll get there. And so it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see when we pull it off and start working on it, because it is a massive project for sure, transforming a cave. I mean, it took me the entirety of Empire Season 2 to transform a good portion of the cave that was in Gobland, and the cave right down there is even larger than that. And that was a whole entire year pretty much dedicated to just building inside of that space, like not in the rest of the SMP world. Granted, I was also doing this series at the time, so it's a little split time-wise, but yeah, eventually we'll get down there, probably, maybe, who knows, and do that. It's definitely not high up on the tier list of projects that I want to tackle right now in this world and things that I'm focusing on, but it's definitely something that's like ever present, and maybe one day I'll just wake up and be like, you know what, I want to do that, and we're gonna start doing that now. I think a big part is I'm scared to design those glowing crystals, because I've tried in the past and I've never made something that I'm really excited about building. They always seem too clunky or bulky, but maybe now with all the stained glass work that I've been doing with glass panes and everything, I might be able to get something that I'm a little bit more excited about. But yeah, I really like the idea that maybe one day in the future, Minecraft is going to add this update that makes that project something that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the time that I want to do that thing. Right now, I'm ready. We're going to start tackling that project. But who knows? For now, I'm really excited about all the current projects I have, and it's kind of fun having a list of things that are maybe one day eventually I'll do this thing. Oh, my cake. It's still here. Surprised you guys haven't eaten it. We're starting to get to the point in this book where it is annoying going all this many pages every single time. But here we have 3B Dola's Voyage. Hey fWhip, I've noticed how great the color is when watching your Minecraft footage. I wonder if your video color grading, or is it a control panel settings? I hope you can show us the way to get the same result into the game as yours, and always thanks for the great work and keep it going. And you can see the last question there too, because I want to save the page. I don't actually do any video color grading or anything like that on top of my footage, because I want y'all to see the true part of Minecraft in here. I would say the biggest change I've had recently is I have my gamma down at 60%. I used to play up closer to, like, this isn't a great spot for an example here. Let's go here. I used to play pretty close to like 300% brightness, and you can see it kind of makes everything a little flat. And then if we start taking it down, you can see a lot of those shadows coming in the corner over there that creates that contrast, so the highlight sections seem a little bit nicer. I've seen some people even going down to like 30 or even like 10% brightness to really get those shadows in here, but that's a little too dark for me, especially when you're in the nether or caves underground. So 60 seems to be a good point for me. I'll show my video settings here just so you can see, but there's not too much that's going to change in here. It's all that different stuff that you kind of have the basics of those, so you can pause and look through this if you would like to. I do have some mods that I think maybe change a little bit of stuff, but I honestly couldn't tell you what they are or what they do. So yeah, that's that's kind of the best answer I can give there. But yeah, no, I don't change anything. I don't add any vibrance. I don't add any additional contrast or anything like that. This is just good old plain Minecraft footage in here that I think the brightness level is something that helps a lot. A lot of people are like, it's dark. I don't want dark, because then I can't see what's in there. But in reality, having those dark spaces, the little bit of the shadows in there, that makes the brighter spaces that much more vibrant and alive. So having that balance in here, I think, is really important. If you're playing on full bright, the world is just gonna seem flat. So for those that are curious, that's been a big change that I've made recently, probably 2-3 months ago, dropping the brightness a ton. I got the idea from watching a friend, Germsy Boy. He plays, I think, down at like 10% brightness or something like that. And I was like, how does he get those really cool shadings and contrasts on the side of buildings? Like, what block is he using? What's in there? And I was looking at it, or a build that he'd done. I was like, no, that's just literally just turning down the brightness in game. And I did that and walked around the city in here. And I was like, oh my God, I should have done this so long ago. Now back to the last question from Carson Combs 2660. Hey fWhip, have you ever thought about adding a train to the world? Not one that uses fuel or hurts the environment around it, but one that harnesses the power of the tree. I think it could be a good mode of transportation for those in places like Papyrus and the city of Path, which would have a nice alternative, I can't type today, to boats, for which are used for transporting goods. I have thought about building trains or doing something like that, but it's never been something that I've been like, ooh, you know, I want to do that now. I kind of like living in more of the medieval side, maybe not really in a time period where those exist outside of the little minecart tracks and things that we have throughout. I think that's more the mode of transportation I want to go with. I'm not too confident in my train building abilities. I think I've seen some people make some beautiful ones, but on the smaller scale that I'd want to go with, I'm not too confident in my ability to do that, but maybe one day. I have thought about, instead of doing the harbor here, having this be a train depot, but we're already too far gone from that, and then having the train tracks just going out there to the coastal town, and then that would be trains coming in and out, but we're very much committed to the water harbor area now, and I don't want to undo that, but maybe that can be something that we think about in the future. I do like the idea of more solar punky trains that are powered off of like solar power or some clean energy. I don't know if the tree I want to be a magical power source, because then that would be something that they're taking the power away from it instead of it just kind of surviving in its own element and living there and doing its thing. I think that's more of a magical feature of it's this thing that's like not really worshipped but honored, I think is the right word that I would want to use for that. And I don't want the city to be here being like, ooh, yeah, we're taking things away from the tree to power all these machinery bits and bobs that we have. And I want to keep that very much on its own, like, sacred element, sitting up there on top of the mountain, doing its own thing, instead of it, like, the whole city being powered by it. But maybe a solar type idea. I do like something along those lines. That could be a fun type of society to introduce, and maybe they have trains and things that are moving around. But the fact that they're always static and they can't actually move, I feel like for me, it's a big reason why I don't add like armor stands or anything like that in this world. I guess I kind of do it with boats positioned throughout out in the ocean with their sails down. But I don't know, for some reason trains being always just like sitting on a track and not actually moving, for me, I don't know, it kind of takes me out of like the realism of the world, and it makes it feel a little more artificial and at a stoppage in time where I'm the only thing able to move around besides all the mobs and everything like that. That's kind of a tangent, but that's a big part why I don't use the armor stands mod to like put people or villagers or anything like that around, or like player heads on things, is that I find doing that just, to me, looks pretty artificial. So it kind of takes me out of it being a real world setting. It's like, oh no, this is like a scene that we're looking at in a painting, and I don't really like the look of that. But who knows? Maybe trains will be out here one day. I don't think it'll be something that'll be quite around this city, or maybe it'll be something that we add later on and then link up to here if we're really feeling that route. But yeah, it's a cool idea. Could be something that we could add later. I just don't know where I'd quite fit it in right now. I think the quarry, like right there, could be a... Nope, we're not talking about it. We're not doing it. We still need the minecart track that's going to go from there up to the castle. Haven't done that. Haven't fixed the telescope. Those things are both on the list of stuff that I want to do. But that's all going to be for future projects. But my friends, that's going to do it for today. So thank you all so very much for watching. Leave a like down below if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're brand new. And I'll catch you all on the flip side.